welcome to ByteSet. In this video, I will show you how to how to create a complete functional to-do app. So let's get on with it. First, create a new Xcode project, iOS app. Next, I'm gonna call it to-do. Interface storyboard, language Swift. Next, directory, I'm okay here, so create. Okay, so here we have the project created via Xcode. So the first thing I want to check the storyboard, and I can see I have my first view controller right here, and I'm gonna add. We want to have this to-do list in some kind of table, so I'm gonna add the table to it. Table and the table view, kind of center here in the middle. But anyway, what we want to do is basically make the table occupy the whole area. So we write 0, 0, 0, and 0. So it will occupy the whole area of the view controller. Add constraint, okay. And then also we need to add a cell on this table, which will be the cell that represent each task. So we're gonna add the cell. Yeah, we're gonna add the cell as well. And then inside the cell, we want to add some some controllers like a label, some UI part, so at least a label and a button that we could use to check if we have done that, we have completed or not the task. So let's make this a little bit maybe bigger, and we can add the label here, kind of here, and the button right here. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna add some constraint to this UI element. So to the label, yeah, I can say that yeah, kind of. I guess we can. It's okay. Yeah, I can do this, and then oh, that's the button. Okay, sorry, that's the button. No, I want to do the label first. And okay, uh, okay. So then we do this, and this. Okay. So we kind of roughly centered the label there. And okay, we have this three constraint. Then on the bottom, then I want to make it perfectly aligned to the label. So to do that, we just do vertically in content. Doesn't make sense. So we click this, and then we click the label. Sorry, with the command, we press the command button, and then we can click both. We click the label, and then we click the button, and then we go here, and then we select the vertical center. So it's going to make sure they are vertically aligned uh, in regard to each other. And then the button, we also make sure it has some space from the right border. So we add it here, and we want this to be this. Make sure only the button is selected. And standard, I think, is already 20, but just to make sure let's do that. Okay, and I think there is a warning here. It's probably telling us, yeah, there is no leading or trailing constraint. So in relation to each other, we need to add some constraint in relation to each other. So what we're gonna do between label and button, we're just gonna add this kind of constraint. And yeah, this constraint can't be. So if we check here, yeah, so we have the label leading 20, this is okay. And between the button and the label, so this shouldn't be really 1000% priority, yeah, priority like required basically, because the label can be of different size depending the task. And so we can just, I think low is it should be okay. And also something else that I want to change is this top and bottom. I don't want them also to be of high priority, because later on we will delete I will show you how to delete and add a new row, basically how to create a new task and delete old tasks. And when we do that on the table kind of collapses the cell as a via this animation. And I think that's the reason that sometimes I used to get a warning, and that is because this priority we are fixed to high priority, especially this top and bottom one. So if we make this kind of a lower priority, then when we delete the row, we shouldn't get any um, warning, basically any constraint warning. So label top and the label is the other one. Reading and label bottom. There you go. With this one, we also put at lower constraint. Maybe this is actually should maybe high is and this one we run high. Yeah, I think high is enough. Yeah. So if we leave on high, it should be best of both worlds. We don't get any warning now, and when the cell is collapsed, there is also no conflict in constraint as well. So I think that's it. Okay. So now to represent this cell that we just added, we should create a new cell class, a usable cell class, and I will show you how to do it. And then we need to connect that class to this cell so that we can manipulate these UI parts in programmatically into that class. So yeah, so here we go to back here to do and the new file and Cocoa Touch class. Each time is basically each time is some kind of UI class. I use this Cocoa Touch class, like so that it give us this, and we can, some little boilerplate is already done for us. So yeah, here's already selected. What we want is a cell, and then this is basically the task view cell. So we can call it task view cell. We don't need the zip file, and that's all there. Oh yeah, we store it there, and create. Let's create. Okay, and here we have the class. And now all we need to do is tell the table that cell is basically this class and that they are connected. So the first thing we need to do is to give it a name. So we do public static let identifier of type string equal, and I'm just gonna call it with the same name, task view cell. And there you go. So we have this. And yeah, I think this is enough for here. So we go back to the main storyboard, and then this cell, and then the class is the one we just created. Task view cell. Okay, here it is, and then actually the name is the same as this. So we copy it, and what is it? Let's make sure cell is selected. Reusable identifier. We write it here. Okay. Did I write this correctly? No, where was I? No, this is wrong. Sorry. I wrote this wrong place. It's not the content view. And I think this should. Nope. Okay. It's this task view cell that should have that name. Yes, there you go. I had the wrong thing selected. Okay, this should be, yeah, this should be it. So, yeah, so now we want to add uh, this reference label and the button to the actual task view cell class. So to be able to if we just click, if here we click assistant, it doesn't appear. Basically, what it appears is the view controller. What we want to appear here is this one, is the task view cell. So the way we do that is we click the main storyboard. We can delete this, then we click the option button, and then task view cell, and then task view cell appear here and there, and then here we can drag our components. We press Control and then label, and then this is I guess is the task label, and then this button, which is the I guess the check button, you can call it, uh, or the done button. Uh, button. Yeah, let's be positive. We call it the done button. Okay. All right. So we kind of have all of these, but we have no data to add to this to our to-do list. So what we're gonna do? Yeah, let's go back to the view controller here. Okay, view controller. We remove this, and what we can create is some kind of model that will hold our task. So let's create a new class here. New file, and in this case it's not a UI, so I use a normal Swift file. Next, and I can call it tasks, I guess, and then create. Okay, so first let's create a structure that represent our single task, like one task. So struct task, and then this task will have the actual task, the actual task, which is of type string, and then we want to know if it's done or not. So this can be, I guess, a boolean, if it's done or not done. And then here we create a kind of container for the tasks. So we call it class tasks, tasks. And since we really only ever need one instance of these, we can make this class a singleton. So let's do that. So we can do private static let instance of type tasks equal tasks. Okay. And then we make the constructor private so it can't be called. And then we create a static method, static function get instance to get an instance of this class and return instance. Okay. Then we should have our like maybe an array of tasks. So we can have private var tasks, and which will contain task. Yeah, something like this. And to have something initially, maybe we can remove this later. Let's maybe initialize it here to add some tasks. Um, so for example, uh, yeah, task, yeah, yeah, my first task, and done is false, and task, my second task, false, and task, uh, my other task, and done false. Okay, okay. Let's see. So we have this. Now this is private, so we have no way of assigning this. So let's have an accessor here. Public function get tasks, and it returns an array of tasks. So return tasks. Okay. Yeah, I guess let's leave it like this for now. So what we want to do now is add this task to our table. So we go to the view controller here. Oh, we need to add the table reference to the view controller. So we go back to the main storyboard, and then this is the table. But yeah, we click assistant, that the view controller will appear. Then we click the control button and drag the table here, and we call it table view. Okay. Yeah, table view. Then normally I like to create some like an UI initializer function. So that I call it set up UI. So here then we have private function set up UI void, and yeah, we can we can set the data source. Let's work on a bigger controller. Okay. So to be able to add data to the table, we need to um, we need to define a data source basically. And so we want to make this view controller itself the data source of this table view. So to do that, we do table view dot data source equals self, and now it will complain because we need a delegate. This one, UI table view data source. Well, it's not really delegate, but it needs to be a data source of type data source. So we do extension uh, view view controller, and it extends the UI table view data source. This way, it won't complain anymore. But still, I think yeah, we need some methods are not optional; they have to be in there. So we can click here and fix, so it will add the stubs for us. So these are basically the methods that are required for populating our table basically. So first it needs to know how many rows the table needs to have, and then it needs to know, it needs to, here we can do the initialization of a particular cell that should go at this specific, for example, index in within the table. So here we need to know basically the count of how many tasks do we have. So in theory we could do, okay, here we could do um, private let tasks um, equal task dot get instance, right? And in theory we could do here tasks dot get task dot count, but I don't like this so much. I prefer to have a method here. So we can do public function count, which returns an int, and then this is task dot count. There you go. Like this, it's, I don't know, slightly cleaner for me. And if there is only one statement, as you probably already know in Swift, you don't need to add the return method, the return keyword. So you can, like this would work. So we can do this, and now in here we can just do uh, tasks dot count, and that returns the number of tasks. And then in here we prepare each cell at a particular index task. So we can do let cell equal the table view, and is the queue something, the queue this one, okay, the queue with the identifier, and I think we did give it a name. So it was task view cell dot identifier for which index path we just pass the index path, and then as it has to be of type task view cell. So I'm just gonna do that, and then here we have to return that cell. Okay, so but however, like this, we have we don't have any, like our cell doesn't know what to display at the moment. It will probably just display rows with the nothing, because we haven't initialized these UI components. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna create a method. We're gonna create, sorry, a task which will be represent the task for this cell. So you can write private var task of type task, something like that. And then here we can have a method, uh, public function set task. We can have like task type task returns void, and then we will have self dot task equal task. Yeah, something like this. And this underscore here, it means that when we call this function, we don't have to write task in there. We can just pass directly the um, the variable, and that's okay, because this method is called already set task, so we don't need to say set task. Okay, so this is here. Oh, and then here basically variables in Swift, they have some kind of event trigger, some kind of hooks. Don't not sure what is the exact name, but some of them is like so we can interject when the task is assigned via this, for example, it was did set. There you go. So by writing did set like this, we as soon as we are setting the variable here, as soon as this is set, this is a hook basically, and it's kind of it let us inject some code in there, and that's very good for us. It's perfect for us because what we can do here is we can do task, we can initialize our UIs part, so we can do task label.text and will be equal to the task dot task, so that's the string, and yeah, and then for the button, yeah, basically the button we will not need any text, but we will make it look a little bit like you would make it look like a check mark, or a more like more yeah like a check mark, like a kind of round check mark by adding an image. And to add images always on my app, I use these. It's called SF symbols, and you can download it from here. Basically, I will put this link in the description of the video. But these are basically all native looking icons. So using these icons, your app will look, very native and very very uniform with the look and feel of iPhone, of the normal iPhone apps. So I go here, and normally I search for something. Like in this case, I know I want a circle, so I want to search uh, for a circle that looks a little bit like a check mark or radio button, maybe. Um, yeah, something like this, for example, like these two. So so we can use this circle for a task that is not done, and then the fill one for tasks that are done. So let's go here, back here, and then yes, let's create initialize the images. So uh, private let done image equal UI image, and this is was circle dot fill. Then we add some kind of color, make sure with the thin, like this one, with thin color, and then we can have system gray and always original, and private LED not done, I guess, maybe to do UI image system name, and we do just circle with thin color, system gray, and always original. So then here it becomes yeah, it becomes so much simpler. So what we can do, we can do we can do if task dot done, then we will do done button dot set image, yeah, set image, and then done image, and for normal, and then else done button dot set image to do image, yeah, to do image normal. So okay, so now here we have the initialization for it. So if we go back to the view controller, here we have the queue, the cell, and we need to retrieve a task. So to retrieve a task, we come back to our model, and we can add a method here, for example, public function get task, and again we can pass the index of type int, and it returns a task. And yeah, we can just do return self tasks at index. Okay. Yeah, in production, application, you would definitely have to, it would be much safer, and you would have to check if this task exists first. Like for example, you could do something like if self.tasks dot indices, I think is indices, or contains, I think it's in indices, yeah, indices dot contains, and I think can you pass? Yeah, you can pass index, I guess. Yeah, if it contains that, then we would return this. Actually, let's do that. Oh, we can't do that because yeah, to make it simple, let's do this. But anyway, you should in real production application, you would just bear in mind you should check for errors here or cases where the index doesn't exist. Um, if you're interested, I will do a video more focused on error handling. Um, okay, let me know, yeah, in the description, in the comments below. So view controller, then we have the method to return the task. So we can do cell dot set task, and then we can do task dot get task, and then we pass the index path dot item. Okay, yeah, I think maybe that's. I think if we run it now, the task should appear. Let's see. Unless I forgot anything. Oh, it's iPhone 7 generation. Maybe we actually stop. I went to the wrong. Let's use the iPhone 12. There you go. Okay. Okay. Oh, this one we don't need. Okay. Yeah. So the tasks are there. Oh, the word button still there, and the button doesn't do anything. So we should remove this word button. So to do that, we go back to task view cell, and again here we create. I like to have a setup UI method I'm gonna call. So I can call this here, or even at the bottom. Private function setup UI type void, and then this is what's called, yeah, down button set title, and then we remove the title for normal. Let's see, the title should have disappeared. I mean the text should have disappeared. Yeah, okay, so there is no text. There's no text anymore, and just the button. But the button doesn't do anything, and also I don't like this annoying selection. We don't really need it, so I'm gonna remove that part too. To remove that part, yeah, in here I think it's selection style equal none. Okay, that will remove that selection. And then to make the button do anything, we have to create another outlet for the action of the button. So we go back to the main storyboard, and you make sure that our cell is selected, which is not. So I press Option on the keyboard and press Task View Cell, and that's the cell here. And then I where is it? Content. Here's the tab button. I'm just gonna drag Control and drag this into here, and then on done button tab. Okay, there you go. So on done button tab. So what we want to do here, okay, let's make it again like a bigger view. This one. What is it? Okay, here. Okay, so in here, what we want to do is of this task. So if he's done, we want to set it to undone, and if he's undone, we want to set it to done. So there is a very convenient Boolean object method that Swift has called toggle. So we wanna use that one. So task dot done dot toggle. And then this way, we don't need to know if it was done or not done in this method. It's just gonna if it's just gonna flip it basically the boolean value. And then we need to reset the right image. So in theory, we need to copy and paste this. We could copy and paste this down here, but I don't like when you start copy and paste code from one place to another, that creates duplication. So the best thing is to create basically a function. So we can call it private function setup done button, and it is void. And then we can copy this here. So now we call it, now we can, here we can do self dot setup done button. And then here, after we change this, we can call it self dot setup done button. Okay, let's see. So now clicking the buttons should mark, so change the image and for show as if the task is done or undone. Let's see. So yes, okay, works. So you click the button and it marks this done or undone. Okay, so now for the second part, we would want to probably to add and delete more tasks. So let's do that. Let's do the quickest things from this situation where we are now is to do the delete one. So we want to do the usual action that when we swap this to the left, the delete thing will appear here. Then we can click, and then the row and the task should be deleted. So let's see how we can do that. So we go here, and I never remember the name of the method, but I know there is commit in it. So if you type commit, I think, is it commit? Yes, this one, and it will appear. So I just press enter, and just simply by writing this method, the table will, the table will like immediately know that we can delete. Well, we can do various action to the rows in the table, but honestly, I only ever done is delete in this method. But I always, as to make sure, always double check. So if editing, so I type if editing style equal delete, then we do the action here. So first thing we want to do is remove the actual task. So here and here we have no way of removing it. So let's add a method, public function remove task, and then at what index, and then returns void, and then we can do self dot task dot remove at, and we pass the index. Okay, and then we go to the view controller. So the first things we do, so we do self dot task dot remove task, and then index path dot item, and that will remove. Then we need to remove the actual row, and to do that we need to tell the table that we're gonna start updating it, and then we tell the table when we're gonna end updating it. So we do table view dot begin, I think, yeah, begin update, and table view dot end update. Here it is. And then here in the middle we will remove the row. Table view dot remove rows, no, delete, I guess, delete rows, yeah, delete row. So we pass the index path here, which is this one, and then I think this is the animation. We just write it automatic. So just by adding this simple method, it should allow us to delete rows. Let's see if it all is fine. Okay, all right, yeah, that's great. So we do this, and this already deletable. So let's see if it works. Delete, delete, and delete. Great. Now we are left without task, which means now we need to add a way to add in new tasks. So the way to do that, I was thinking to have basically a way to navigate to a new screen, and then on that new screen have a text field and a button. So in the text field you add the task, and then the button you add You press the button and you add the task, and then pressing the button navigate back to the screen and with the new task appearing. So to do that, it means we need a navigation controller to wrap our controller, our current controller. So let me show you how to do that. So we go back to the main storyboard, and here we have our main controller, and then to do that, we go to editor and embed in and navigation controller. Boom. So here, navigation controller now is basically is wrapping our table, and not much is changed, but we can add, if we add the title on this view controller, then it will appear as a title here in the basically we have added a header now on top of our table. So let me show you. So we go to view controller, and yeah, this is a view controller. Setup UI. We can type title. You see this? Yeah, search the title. Title the same, and sorry, and then we can add to do, I guess, or to dos, maybe plural to dos. Let's see. So if we run it now, yes, so we have our to dos. So now we have and we have the header above, and things works like before, and yeah, and the tasks are back because we are not really recording that we have in any way. We will do that later, that we have actually deleted or added any task. So now to navigate to the new controller, we want to add a button here on the right, maybe some kind of plus, so that we can click the plus, and then that will navigate us to a new controller. So let's add that. So now, by having wrapped this view controller to a navigation, we have access to new um, yeah, to new attributes basically that we can use. So in the setup UI, I think it was called navigation item, I think, right? Yes, right, navigation item dot right bar button. So here we can add a button basically on the right top part of our view. And so UI bar button, yeah, UI bar button item. And which one do we choose? So I guess this one, because we want to add an image, the plus side icon. We will search, and then we can have a target and an action. So we choose this one. So the image, we would again with the SF images, we can add here. Let's see, add maybe, or let me see. Yeah, maybe we can use not super pretty. Maybe we can use this one. Doesn't, or just a simple plus. Maybe let's add this. Just add a simple plus. Maybe let's create it. Let's create it up here. Um, Private. Let add or plus button equal. No, actually this is the plus image. So plus image equal UI image system view was the plus, and then let's give it a color with tint color, kind of, this is kind of default black color, and always original. So then here in the image we can add our plus image, and then style, I'm not sure, yeah, plain, I guess, which is, yeah, the normal one. And then target is, so by clicking that button, we want to navigate to a new controller. So we need to add a function basically. So then here we do selector, and then the function we will call it on plus button tap. Oh, and the signature, which I think is something like this. I can't remember. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's complaining because we don't have the actual the actual the actual method. So let's create the method. Um, Private function. Oh, the method has to be kind of Objective C. So C private function on plus button tab, and I don't know if we need a sender, but maybe let's see sender, and the sender is the UI bar button item. Let's see. I'm not sure. It might not work properly. Yeah, let's see if it works. Print uh, plus button pressed. Okay, let's see. Just to make sure we didn't make any mistake. Oh yeah, it's coming out here. Plus button pressed. So this was correct. So we press this, and it goes there. Okay, good. So now here we need to navigate, but we don't have yet a controller to navigate to. So let's create that controller now. So main storyboard, and then here, okay, um, okay, let's create a new view controller. Yeah, view controller. Okay. What do we want in this view controller? Um, well, we want a text field where we're gonna type in the new task and then an add button. So let's do that. Text field. Okay, we can put that here and maybe let it take nearly all the space. So let's see the constraint. How far is it? Yeah, 25, 20, 20. Yeah, let's leave it like this. Okay. Yeah, let's see. And then we can add a button. When we press, it will just add the task. Okay. 30. Yeah, why not? Okay. Like this, like this. I don't know if we need. Maybe we need that. Not sure if we need that one too. Let's see if we will complain. Yeah, I think we need more. Leading constraint is missing, so the button needs a leading constraint. So let's add the leading constraint. And this one, yeah, I'm just gonna add it like this, and then I'll select, and then I'm gonna put it that it doesn't really need to be top priority, because that button, depending the text, especially if you do localization and have different language, the text can have different size. So we want that to be flexible. So we can put this low, I guess, and it still doesn't complain. Everything is fine. And then here we have this yellow thing, and it's telling us you have added. I can show you. And basically, it's telling us that you have added a new controller, but there is no way of reaching this controller. So it's fine. We know now we're gonna add what is called like a segue. Funny enough, segue is sounds like an Italian word. It means to follow, kind of. But anyway, so let's add this segue arrow that goes from the view controller. So we press the control button on the keyboard, and then we click on the mouse here and drag this line, and then we select show, and there you go. Now we have created a path basically from the previous view controller to this new controller, and then I will call this view controller the add controller. So the segue needs a name, so we're gonna give it a name. So the identifier of the segue will be to, because towards to add controller. Yeah, I don't know. It might be not the best name, but it's okay. To add controller, so it's gonna go there, and we can. I think even though we don't, yeah, we can already test that. So what we're gonna do, we go to view controller, and then here we do we type perform segue, then with identifier to add controller and sender self. Uh, let's see. Should be okay. I don't know. So when we click the plus button, we should go there. Let's see. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, it goes there. Here's the text field that we added and the button that we added, and then we can go back like this. So now to be able to, to do anything with this controller, let's create a class and like a view controller class that will reference this add controller. So I'll do that. I go to do, right click, new file, and Coco attach because it's a UI part. Next, and in this case it's a regular view controller. So view controller, and then I can call it here add controller. Add controller. We don't need the Xzip or and this Swift. Okay. Next, and create. Okay, so this is the controller. Now we need to tell the storyboard that this add controller is associated with that with the right controller in the storyboard. So here we we click this and then this like panel, and then here we type we write that add controller is there. So this way we have already associated it. Then after that, then we can basically start to um, add reference to these UI parts into our class that we just created. So uh, we we click these lines and then assistant. So yeah, the add controller will appear here directly, and then we drag and drop the element like we did before into the class. So we press Control, and this is the text field, and then we can call it task text field, and then this is button. We can call it control, and goes here, and this is I guess the add button is enough. Okay, add button. So we have added those button there, and then here we can kind of um, customize those UI parts a little bit. So always I create my setup UI function, and I call it here private function setup UI, and void. Okay, so we can we can make this look slightly a little bit better. But first, I like a placeholder on the text field. So text field dot placeholder equal, and add new task. So it's obvious what that is for. Then the add button should have like some kind of text in there. So set title, and we can click add task, and this for the normal view, and then maybe we can make it look more like a button rather than just a text. So what we can do is add button, I guess background color equal label. We can make it kind of blackish, and add the button, add the text color. No, how is it called? Title color. Yes, title color. No, this is just returning. Maybe set set title color. Okay, set title color, and then so this is the text in it, and then we can make a very light gray. Uh, gray 6 for normal. Okay, and then we can make it a bit rounder. Add button dot layer dot corner radius, I think 10, and then finally give it a bit more breathing space between the text, so we can do like this. Add button dot content edge inset equal UI edge inset. I don't know. Maybe we can do this one like just 10, 20, 10, 20, I guess. Yeah. Well, let's see how. Let's see more or less how it looks like. Like I want to spend like a lot of time on this. Okay, so plus, okay, so add a task here. We can press here and then add the new task appear here. Also, I want this to, as soon as we move here, there is only one text field, so we should be able to start typing immediately rather than having to click. That's kind of as good UI practice. So let's add that. So task text field dot responder something. First, become first responder. There you go. Become first responder. And I think now, if we go, here, yeah, it's already we can start typing immediately. So it's great. However, nothing happens. So nothing happens. So what we do is, add, make the, write the code to add new tasks. And where are we gonna do that? We're gonna do that obviously right here. So the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna drag this add button into the add controller. So to add the action basically to this. Actually, I want to be above. Yeah. Okay, press the control button and drag. Okay, give an action. So on add button tab. Okay. Then on add button tab, what we want to do is we want to do two things. We want to add the task that we just typed, and also we want to do we want to navigate back? Yeah, I guess let's navigate back. Yeah, let's navigate back. We could do it so that we stay there and keep adding new tasks and then maybe having a done button that navigates back. But for now, for just simplicity, maybe let's just click this button and then that add the new task and navigates back. So actually, if we go back to our model, we don't have any way of adding tasks here. So let's create a public function add task. So here we could have task task. Yeah, why not? Void like this. We could have this method. So we can then do self.task.append. Should it go on the top? Does he have a prepend? Not sure. Well, let's just append it. Task.append. Yeah, append new element task. Okay. So like this is, yeah, at least we have a way of appending. So this is a singleton, so it's great. Just from here, we can just call the single instance again. So we do private let tasks equal tasks dot get instance. Then when we add the new button, what we want to do? Well, first we want to check actually if the text field has anything in it, and if he doesn't have if there is nothing in the text, then the button shouldn't do anything. So we can add some kind of guard here. So guard, and then maybe we can do guard let content equal task task text field dot text type text else return. So it doesn't do anything if there is no content. Oh, and also if the content is empty, it shouldn't do anything. So content that is empty. So and the content content is empty return. Yeah, otherwise create a new task or add actually a new task directly. So we can do task dot add task, and then we can do task, and then the string will be content, and the done will be false, of course, false. And then we need to navigate back. Navigate back. Um, Navigation controller dot. I'm not to remember. Uh, pop view controller and animated through. Let's see. I'm not sure. Also, I don't want to do it this way. Let's do it this way. If let navigation controller equal navigation controller, then navigation controller dot top view controller navigator true. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it this way. Okay. So yeah, if all goes well in theory, when we press the add button, we should see a new task, should add a new task, and we should navigate back. Let's see. Okay. So flash. How can we call it? My other task. Okay. Uh, my very new task. Add task. Okay. Yeah. Looks like the task was probably added, but it doesn't appear because we need to reload the data. So basically, we are not. We should tell the table. The table doesn't know that there is a new task and it should reload it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the view controller here, and uh, and then we're gonna another method that is in the view controller that is called each time the controller appears. So it's appear view will appear. So I call the parent one view will appear with animated, and then here um, I don't want to. In theory, I could call table view dot reload data, but basically each time we navigate there, it will reload the data for no reason. And I think it's not necessary to reload the data all the time. It's doesn't matter maybe for a to-do list, which I don't imagine to-do list to having thousands of entries. But for just for good practice, because there could be things that have thousands of entry. I feel better if I do something like this view table, like not this at all, like table view, and then I want to know the number of rows. Self for rows, index path, insert the rows, reload number of rows, and then we only have one section, which is section 0. So we can do that if the number of rows is less than the self.tasks.count, then it means, or maybe not t, yeah, less, yeah, just less. Only we want to only when we add, because when we delete, is already taken care here. So um, okay, we do this. So yeah, so this should work. So if the number of rows in this is less than the task, then call reload data. Let's see. Okay, so let's go here. My very new task. Okay, thank you. My very new task. Add, and there you go. Yeah, now it appears. It's right here. Okay. Uh, this is another task. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it seems to work correctly, and we can still delete this and add one one more. Okay. Yeah, add one more, and so we have a task. Okay. So yeah, basically this is a very basic at the moment. You can add and delete tasks. So I guess the last thing I want to do is a way of maintaining this task. So when we close the app now, like let's see, say for example, we just yeah, if we close the app, let's see if we start it again. See all the tasks disappear even if we delete these and then okay, and we close the task and we do this. Yeah, so nothing is saved. So I want to add a simple mechanism to basically to save the tasks, and we can do that probably here in the task, and also maybe we don't need these initial tasks anymore. So let's create first. So we can create maybe a couple of methods to yeah. So what I want to use for doing that, there are various ways that we can use. We could use like core data, which is like a database, like a built-in database that Apple provides us on iOS. Or there's also a very simple database called user defaults. It's meant only for storing simple defaults for the user, um, for user setting for your app. But in this case, we can use it also for storing these tasks in there. And on my, I will create another video maybe after this one that basically does exactly the same thing, but instead of using user data, it will store it in core data in the database. But just to yeah, to quickly save this one, let's use user defaults this way. So first, user default is basically a key value pair. You store this key value pair, and then you retrieve it easily via key. So first, so we're gonna call it tasks, for example, and then we're gonna store some data. The user defaults. Actually, I can show you here. You can go here, and then if you type user defaults, it should appear. This one, yeah, user defaults, and also this one is a singleton, or can be used as a singleton, and that's the way we're gonna use it via the standard. So this one returns a shared defaults object for your app. So we're gonna use this. So here, but first let's transform these into uh, data, I guess. So we can count, and to do that, we can serialize it into JSON. So let's do that. So to do that, we need to make this inherit from codable. Codable? Yeah, codable, I think. Yeah, and this is basically encode and the code. And then we go here and we type private, maybe to JSON function function to JSON and void, and I need to check. I think it's JSON. Yeah, to JSON. Oh, maybe to JSON, and it should return data like this. So we can do if let data equal I think JSON. Uh, I never remember this. Encoder data. Oh, let me see. Sorry, I need to check this one. I don't remember. JSON encoder. Um, codable. Okay. Uh, Okay, okay. Um, oh, encoder dot encode. Okay, there you go. So, okay, so we can do data dot try JSON encoder dot encode encoder dot encode, and then we have self dot tasks. Then if that is the case, return data, and then otherwise return nil. Okay, I think that should work. And then we do private function from JSON, and then we have in this case it should return task, I think. I guess. Let's see. JSON decoder. Yeah. Okay. Product. Yeah. Okay. Then here we have then if let uh, oh, well, we need to pass the data. So here we do data and this data. So how is it? If let tasks equal JSON decoder or try JSON decoder dot decode, and then this is task dot self, and then we pass the data. So if let that, then we do self dot tasks equal tasks, else self dot tasks. Oh, should we just return it? I guess. Yeah, let's just return it. And return tasks. Else return empty. Let's return an empty array. Okay, so we have a to JSON and a from JSON. And so now we're gonna create a couple of public methods to save, to load the data and save the data. So public function load and is void. So this then will use user defaults dot standard dot I think, yeah, data for key tasks. So we can do um, if let data equal user default that, and then let tasks equal self done from JSON data. Then we do self dot tasks equal tasks. Yeah, is that correct? Why is it complaining here? Let tasks instead of binding must have optional value. Oh, this is, yeah, it's returning that, so it doesn't need to do that. So yeah, this is correct. So we can just do this actually. That makes a lot of sense. Then we can just do this here. Self dot tasks equal that. Okay. So if it all loads correctly, then we should have those tasks in there. Otherwise, and then we do the save, public function save, and also void. And so we do, yeah, if let data equal self dot to, yeah, self dot to JSON. Then we do user defaults dot standard dot set. Um, yeah, set. Yeah, should be set. Oh, data. Yeah, no, this is returns. So no, it should be set. Set. I guess value. Set value. Data. for key tasks. Right, okay, and that should yeah, that should let's just save it. So what are we gonna call these? So if like the load and save basically. So ideally it would be great to have like a place that we know when the app start, it kinds of load our tasks, and when the app basically yeah is terminated, then the tasks are saved. So first, actually, we don't need these here. Yeah, we don't need these anymore here. So we can remove these, and maybe here we can just have yeah tasks equal this just to initialize it to the to empty. Sorry, yeah, to empty tasks. And then we can use our app delegate here. So here, override point for consider after application launch. So immediately after application launch, we will load the our task. So we can do tasks dot get instance dot load here. And then I want to add the save in two methods. I know there is a method here, terminate, I think, terminate there. Application will terminate. So in here, we can add tasks dot get instance dot save. So it should save the task. But there is also a background method here. So scene did enter background. So also when our app goes to the background, we can on the background we can take the opportunity and save our tasks. Okay. So, so in scene delegate, here we are saving, and in app delegate, we are yeah terminating basically. So in here in the app delegate, we are loading it when the application start, and we removed everything from task. So now when it start, it should be empty, and if I did everything okay, it should run okay. Okay, good. So we have no task whatsoever. So maybe let's add our first task. First task, add. Okay, we have a task here. Great. Then we do plus, let's add another task. Second task, add the task. Okay, great. So we have these two tasks. Now let's see if we can, yeah, so in theory, if we go to, so if the app goes in the background, like in this kind of state, I don't know what this is saying here. Does not be rendered a snapshot of view, but I guess it's nothing to worry about. Let's see. Let's see if I delete this. I mean, if I terminate this, if you save, and then if we start again, yes. So the tasks are here. So if we let's see, if we start, does it load? Yeah, they load are here. So let's create one more third task, add task. Okay, and then yeah, and then killing these. If I can manage to grab it. Okay, that's it. And then we remove this and start again, and the task is there. So we can remove the first one. We do this. We kill it. Yeah. Start again, or start again, and the task are here. Okay. Yeah. This is kind of the end of this video. I hope it was useful and for you, and please stay tuned, like and subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you will receive more receive notification when I post other videos. And actually, my very next video, if I have time, I will make it today or tomorrow. It will be exactly the same, like a to-do app, but instead of using the user defaults like we used here, I want to show you how to use the built-in database, the core core data, I think it's called. But yeah, I will talk about it on my next video. Thank you everyone for watching, and talk to you soon. Bye.